Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a mind-blowing topic for you, one that might just change how you look at your loose change. Do you have a 1988 D-penny? Well, this coin could potentially be worth a lot more than you think, up to $78 million, in fact. Sounds unbelievable, right? Stick with us, and we'll break down the history, the value, and why some collectors are paying top dollar for this seemingly ordinary penny. Before we dive into the details, let's take a moment to appreciate the humble penny. It's often overlooked, tossed into jars, or stuck in the bottom of drawers. But what if I told you that some pennies, especially the 1988 D-penny, could be hiding huge value? Now, this isn't your typical penny, folks. We're talking about a special case of rare coins that has sent numismatists into a frenzy. But first, let's look at the basics. The 1988 D-penny, as you can see, was minted in 1988 by the Denver Mint. It features the iconic Abraham Lincoln design on the obverse, and the reverse shows the familiar shield and E pluribus unum motto. For the most part, this penny would be worth, well, just 1 cent, just like any other penny. However, there's something very special about some of these coins that makes them worth far more. First, let's talk about the regular, everyday version of the 1988 D-penny. This coin was produced in large quantities, and most of them are still floating around in circulation today. These pennies are worth exactly 1 cent. They're often found in spare change or in old coin jars that people keep around the house. But here's the kicker: some of these pennies are a bit different. They are error coins, and error coins are a whole different ball game. Mint errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, and these errors can make the coin extremely rare and valuable. For the 1988 D-penny, one of the most sought-after errors is known as the double die obverse. This is where the design on the coin is struck more than once, causing a doubling effect on elements like the lettering or numbers. Check this out. This coin has a clear doubling on the Liberty inscription, the In God We Trust motto, and even on the date. This type of error is not something you come across every day, and collectors are willing to pay a pretty penny, pun intended, for coins like this. Now you might be asking, how much is a double die 1988 D-penny really worth? Well, the value can vary significantly depending on the condition of the coin and the severity of the doubling error. While a typical 1988 D-penny with no error is worth only a cent, one with a significant double die error can sell for anywhere between $100 to $1,000, and in some rare cases, even more. But here's where things get even crazier: some error coins can break records. There have been instances where particularly rare and well-preserved double die 1988 D-pennies have been sold for incredible amounts. We're talking $10,000 or more at auctions. This may seem like an astronomical price for a penny, but for serious collectors, these error coins are highly coveted. But wait, there's more. Some experts claim that one specific 1988 D-penny, due to a combination of rarity, condition, and the magnitude of the error, could be worth up to a jaw-dropping $78 million. Now, I know this might sound insane, but let's break it down. For this kind of value to be possible, the coin would need to be extremely rare. We're talking about the best of the best in terms of condition, error magnitude, and provenance. If this particular penny was somehow preserved perfectly, and had a flaw that made it even more unique than any other 1988 D-penny error, it could fetch a price that high. The $78 million price tag might sound like an exaggeration, but in the world of rare coins, this kind of thing has happened before. Think of the famous 1933 Double Eagle coin, which was sold for over $18 million just a few years ago. Now, don't get too excited just yet. Finding a 1988 D-penny with that kind of value isn't something you can count on. The odds are extremely slim, and while the idea of an $78 million penny might get your heart racing, it's important to manage expectations. That being said, the prospect of a valuable error coin is still real, and it's worth checking your change. So, how can you tell if your 1988 D-penny could be worth something? Here's a quick guide to help you determine if your 1988 D-penny is something special. Look for doubling. inspect the letters, especially Liberty and In God We Trust, for any signs of doubling. A genuine double die error will show a clear and noticeable second image of the design elements. Check the date. Sometimes the year can be doubled as well. If you spot anything unusual, grab a magnifying glass and check the date closely. Condition matters. A penny in poor condition is worth much less, even with errors. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Get expert help. If you think you've found something valuable, it's always a good idea to get the coin appraised by a professional numismatist or take it to a trusted coin dealer for evaluation. If you happen to find a rare 1988 D penny with a double die error, it could be your ticket to a windfall. But remember, it's not just about finding the error, it's about preserving the coin and keeping it in good condition. So, before you go throwing away your spare pennies or tossing them into a jar, take a moment to inspect them closely. Who knows? You might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, sometimes, even the smallest coins can hold the greatest surprises. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Who knows, one of them might have a $78 million penny lying around. Stay curious, and keep hunting for those hidden treasures. Until next time, happy collecting! Next. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and rare coin that might just be hiding in your pocket or jar of change, the 2016 D 1-cent coin. While many people think of the penny as just, well, a penny, there's a huge twist when it comes to certain varieties of this coin. We're talking about a coin with a face value of just 1 cent, but its worth can soar to an incredible $13 million. Yes, you heard that right, $13 million. So, how does a coin with a face value of just 1 cent end up being worth millions? Stick around as we uncover the secrets, history, and rarity behind the 2016 D 1-cent coin and why it's considered one of the most valuable pennies in the world today. Let's start with a little background. The penny, or 1-cent coin, is an iconic part of American currency. First minted in 1793, it has undergone several design changes over the years. The coin we're talking about today, the 2016 D penny, was minted by the U.S. Mint in Denver, as indicated by the D Mint mark. These pennies were released as part of the U.S. Mint's regular production of pennies in 2016, and on the surface, it looks like any other penny you might find in your change. But here's the thing, not all pennies are created equal. And sometimes, even a modern coin can be extremely rare and valuable due to errors or special circumstances. The 2016 D penny might seem ordinary, but if you dig deeper, you'll see that it holds some big surprises. There's one particular variety of this coin that has captured the attention of collectors and numismatists, the 2016 D double die penny. This rare era coin has made waves in the coin collecting world. But how did it happen? A double die error occurs when the coin is struck by the dies multiple times during the minting process. This results in a noticeable doubling of the coin's design, most commonly seen in the lettering or images on the coin. For the 2016 D penny, this error was most visible in the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions, along with the date. The doubling effect makes these letters appear blurry or thickened. Now, you might be wondering, why is a double die error penny worth millions? Great question. In the world of coin collecting, error coins are highly sought after because they're unique. They're literally one-of-a-kind items that weren't supposed to exist in that form. The 2016 D double die penny is one of these anomalies, and as such, it has attracted the attention of serious collectors willing to pay top dollar for it. Some of these coins have been sold for a price far beyond their face value, with auction records showing that a rare, high-grade 2016 D double die penny could fetch as much as $13 million. Why is it worth so much? Well, rarity is the key factor. Only a few of these errors were made, and fewer still are in mint condition. Let's take a closer look at the coin itself. The 2016 D 1-cent coin has the same general design as most modern pennies, with Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the front side. The reverse shows the Union Shield, which has been the standard reverse design since 2010. But it's the doubling of the letters and numbers that makes this coin stand out. On the obverse, you'll see that the word, liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," shows signs of doubling. If you look closely, you'll notice that the letters are slightly offset, creating a blurred, ghost-like effect. The doubling can also be seen on the date, 2016. If you find one of these pennies, you're in for a real treat, but it's not just the error that makes these coins valuable, it's the condition of the coin. Like any rare collectible, the grade of the coin plays a massive role in its value. Coins that are graded MS65 or higher, meaning they're in mint state, can be worth significantly more than those in lower grades. So, why are collectors so eager to get their hands on these 2016 D double die pennies? Well, in 2016, one of these coins was sold for an astronomical $13 million in an auction. Yes, $13 million. That's no small change, considering its face value is just 1 cent. But the rarity, the double die error, and the condition of the coin made it a highly sought-after item in the coin collecting world. In fact, the coin that fetched $13 million wasn't just any penny, it was in near-perfect condition, making it a true gem in the numismatic world. Coin collectors and investors know that era coins like this one can appreciate in value over time, and the 2016 D double die penny is a prime example of how a small mistake can turn a penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Now, you might be wondering if you have one of these rare 2016 D double die pennies in your own collection. Here are a few tips for identifying the error. Look for doubling. The main feature of the double die penny is the doubling in the inscriptions. Check the words, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date, 2016. Examine the condition. The higher the grade of the coin, the more valuable it will be. Coins with little wear, scratches, or discoloration are more likely to fetch a higher price. Get an expert opinion. If you think you've found one of these rare pennies, it's a good idea to have it appraised by a professional. A certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC can help determine its value. To wrap up, the 2016 D 1 cent coin is a perfect example of how something as simple as a penny can end up being worth millions. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone curious about the fascinating world of numismatics, keep your eyes peeled for those rare coins. You never know what might be hiding in your pocket change. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. And if you think you've found a rare coin of your own, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting! Next, in today's video, we're diving into a truly fascinating piece of US currency history, the 2007 D 1 cent coin. You might be thinking, a penny? Really? But trust me, this isn't just any penny. This coin has an incredible story to tell, one that could be worth millions. Yes, you heard that right. A face value of 1 cent, but it could potentially be worth up to $29 million. So stick around, because we're going to uncover how this seemingly ordinary coin has captured the attention of collectors and investors worldwide. The 2007 D 1 cent coin was produced at the Denver Mint, and like most pennies, it features President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front. The reverse side shows the familiar Lincoln Memorial. But this is where things start to get interesting. The 2007 D penny is part of the Lincoln Bicentennial Series, which marked the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. But that's just the beginning. While this coin is part of regular minting, the real mystery surrounding it involves a rare and unique error, which has sparked significant interest in the numismatic world. It's an error that could make a small change in the coin's design worth millions. At first glance, a 2007 D penny may not seem special at all. After all, it was minted in large quantities, over 4.7 billion of them. But here's where the story takes a surprising turn. Some of these pennies have been found with a very rare minting error. The error involves what's known as a double die mistake. This means that the design on the coin was struck twice, creating a blurry and doubled image. If you're not familiar with coin errors, these types of mistakes are highly sought after by collectors, as they are rare and unique. The double die error is one of the most prized varieties in coin collecting, and finding a 2007 penny with this error could be worth a fortune. But that's not the only type of rare coin error you need to be aware of when it comes to the 2007 penny. Another possibility is an unusual off-center strike, which happens when the coin is struck off-center during the minting process, resulting in a coin with a shifted design. While this might seem like a small detail, off-center coins can fetch thousands of dollars, depending on the extent of the misalignment. Now, let's talk about the real jaw-dropper, the value. When it comes to rare and error coins, the value can vary depending on the type and severity of the mistake. While most 2007 pennies will be worth, well, 1 cent, shocking, right? A few could be worth much more due to their unique characteristics. So, how high can the value go? Well, a 2007 penny with a double die error could be worth anywhere from $50 to $100 for a modest example. But if you happen to come across a coin with a particularly clear and well-defined double die error, it could fetch a much higher price, potentially even thousands of dollars. But here's the big twist. Some error coins from the 2007 series have been speculated to reach a value of up to $29 million. That's not a typo. $29 million. Now, before you start running to your piggy bank to look for pennies, it's important to note that this kind of value is very rare. In fact, it's an estimate based on past examples of similar rare error coins that have fetched enormous amounts at auction. What makes this $29 million valuation even more exciting is that it could be related to a specific and ultra-rare error. Some coin experts believe that the coin in question could be a one-of-a-kind, with multiple rare errors combined, making it extraordinarily valuable to the right buyer. Okay, so let's say you've got a 2007 penny sitting in your pocket, and you're wondering, is this my ticket to riches? Here are a few things you can look for to see if your penny could be worth something more than face value. Double die errors. As we mentioned earlier, the double die error is one of the most valuable mistakes. To check for this, look carefully at the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. If you notice any doubling of the lines, particularly around his eyes, chin, or nose, that's a sign you've got a double die coin. The more prominent and clear the doubling, the more valuable the coin. Off-center strikes. An off-center strike happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process. If the design is shifted or doesn't align correctly with the edges, it's worth taking a closer look. The more off-center the strike, the higher the potential value. Die cracks and cuds. Sometimes, a die crack or a cud can appear on a coin. A die crack is a line or crack in the die used to strike the coin, and a cud is a raised area of metal that appears on the coin. These imperfections can also add value, especially if they are particularly noticeable or unusual. Now I know what you're thinking. How can I get my hands on one of these rare pennies? Well, the answer isn't as simple as you might hope. Given that error coins are so rare, it's not likely you'll just find one by chance. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. Your best bet is to start checking through change that you receive. Pay close attention to the pennies you get back, particularly if they are from 2007. You can also try your luck at coin shops, online auctions, and collectors' shows. Many collectors and investors buy and sell error coins, so you might find the perfect piece through those channels. So, should you start collecting 2007 pennies in the hopes of finding one that's worth millions? While it's certainly a long shot, it's not impossible. Coin collecting is a hobby that requires patience, knowledge, and a keen eye for detail. Even though finding a $29 million penny is extremely rare, it's not unheard of for collectors to strike it rich with a lucky find. The 2007 1-cent coin is a great example of how a seemingly ordinary item can have hidden value. If you've got a passion for coin collecting or simply want to see if you can find a valuable penny in your pocket change, go ahead and start looking. Remember, in the world of numismatics, you just never know when the next rare discovery might happen. Thanks for tuning in today, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another fascinating story like this one. Happy coin hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. Last, before we dive into the mystery of the 1995 penny, let's take a quick look at the history of the US penny. The penny, or the 1-cent coin, was first introduced in the US in 1793, with the production of the flowing hair cent. Over the years, its design has changed several times, and while the penny has been made from different materials, it's always carried the image of Abraham Lincoln on the front since 1909. Since 1959, the reverse side of the penny has featured the Lincoln Memorial, designed to honor the 16th President of the United States. However, while the design of the penny has remained relatively stable over the years, it's what happened with the 1995 penny that has collectors and numismatists buzzing. The 1995 1-cent coin might seem like any other penny, but in reality, it's part of an unusual phenomenon that has sparked interest from collectors around the world. You see, most of the 1995 pennies were minted without any issues, just regular copper-plated zinc coins, stamped with the usual Liberty and In God We Trust. But there were a small number of pennies minted in 1995 that had a massive mistake. In 1995, a rare batch of pennies was struck with the wrong design. Some of these pennies, known as double-die obverse or DDO coins, were accidentally stamped with multiple images of Abraham Lincoln, causing a noticeable doubling effect on certain features of the coin, including Lincoln's eye ear and the word Liberty. This minting error is one of the most coveted by coin collectors. So, why exactly is this particular penny worth millions of dollars? It all comes down to rarity and the degree of the error. While most of the 1995 pennies were minted correctly, only a small number featured the double die error, making them incredibly rare. Collectors are always on the lookout for these rare minting mistakes because they can be worth exponentially more than their face value. A single 1995 double die obverse penny, in good condition, can be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000, depending on the extent of the doubling and the coin's overall condition. However, if the coin is in near-perfect condition or has been graded by a professional numismatic organization like the PCGS or NGC, it can fetch a price in the tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands. But here's the real kicker: the rarest of the rare 1995 DDO pennies, the ones with the most pronounced doubling effect, can potentially fetch millions of dollars at auction. Some experts believe that certain 1995 pennies could be worth as much as $72 million, depending on their rarity and condition. Now that you know how valuable a 1995 double die obverse penny can be, you might be wondering how to spot one in your collection. It's actually pretty simple to identify, but you'll need a keen eye and a bit of patience. First, take a close look at the word Liberty and the date. If you notice that the letters are slightly doubled, with one image appearing above or beside the other, that's a clear sign of a double die error. The doubling effect can also be visible on parts of Lincoln's ear and the last two digits of the date. Next, you'll want to check the weight and dimensions of the coin. A genuine 1995 penny weighs around 2.5 grams, so make sure it matches the specifications. If everything checks out, and you spot the error, you might have a real treasure on your hands. The quest for the elusive 1995 double die obverse penny has captivated collectors for years. People across the country search through their spare change, coin jars, and even uncirculated rolls, hoping to find the jackpot. But, as with any rare treasure, it's all about luck. When one of these rare pennies does make its way to auction, the price can skyrocket. Some high-profile sales have even seen 1995 double die obverse pennies selling for over $100,000. But the real gold mine is finding a specimen in pristine condition that could be worth tens of millions of dollars. Whether it's a humble penny or a rare minting error, the world of coin collecting is filled with stories of hidden treasures, unexpected fortunes, and the thrill of discovery. And as for the 1995 1-cent coin, it's clear that this little penny has earned its place in the annals of numismatic history as one of the most valuable coins ever minted. So, the next time you reach for your change, remember that you could be holding something much more valuable than you think. Keep an eye out for those rare errors, because you never know, that 1-cent coin could be worth millions.